Good morning, folks. This is your daily Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news updates. Remember to smash that like button for the algorithm so that the program knows to show you more crypto content and more videos from me, and more videos like this one. And if you're new here, first off, welcome. Secondly, remember to subscribe to the page so that you can join our community and get the latest and greatest updates on everything Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain related. So hopping on over here, we do have Bitcoin up to 18K, Ethereum back to 550, XRP is hovering around 60 cents per token. So largely a little bit back up. We've had a bit of a rebound since yesterday. Over on Bitcoin dominance by market cap, we do see mostly sideways action with a bit positive. We were at 62.5% yesterday and we're just under 63% today. So looks like we're still on a bull trend. On Bitcoin treasuries, we do still have 4.01% of the total Bitcoin supply stored in the treasuries of publicly traded companies, which is now up to around $15 billion. Not too much change there, and no new big players, with Grayscale still having the majority of that Bitcoin value. On cycle repeat, the all-time high level they're projecting is going up a bit. It was at 360 yesterday and is now at 380K per Bitcoin. The range we are looking at or projecting is around 100 to 400. It's typically what most experts in the space are saying. So I don't think anything above 400 is very reasonable. So this is still within that range. The reason their numbers have gone up is because they expected us to be mostly sideways over the next week. And we have now started increasing. Bitcoin's price is over 17K again. And that is not something they thought would happen till after December 7th. So good to keep our eye out on that one. Keep in mind that during Bitcoin bull runs, you can still expect to see pullbacks of up to 40%, which we saw in the XRP move to the parabolic most recently. On our stock to flow model, we are still undervaluing Bitcoin based on what its fair value should be. Zooming in here, we do see Bitcoin's around 17.7K, and it should be, as of today, around 24K. And that takes into account the amount of new Bitcoin supply that is being generated, the amount of power it takes to generate that, and processing computers required and such. So we do still have a lot of positive upside, but we may experience some volatility on the way. Over on Bitcoin charts, we do still see a huge amount of sell interest right around that apex of the Bitcoin volume. So it's going to be slow movement if we see any movement, but it is going to be some movement because of the volatility of Bitcoin. And experts are saying that once we get into the December timeframe, Bitcoin's volatility is going to increase at a great rate. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But on retail interest, we are now reaching new highs. Just last week, the high was this 89 level for the year, and now we are up to 100, which is the relative search interest for Bitcoin. So the reason that it is lower from 100 during the week of November 15 to 21 to now 89 is because this past week, I should say, has eclipsed that search interest. So we watch this for when retail is getting into Bitcoin and entering the space. And what we've seen in the past is that during bull runs, the search volume peaks around when retail is getting in. So in 2017, at the end of the year in December, we had the peak of our Bitcoin bull run, and that correlated very well with the interest in time on Google Trends searches. Another thing to watch out for is when celebrities start tweeting about Bitcoin, but we haven't really seen this too much yet, and we also don't have a great method for measuring this. So this is just a really easy, quick way of seeing we're nearing a local high as well as an all-time high sometime in the future. And so keep an eye out and be careful. Once you see those warning signs start coming up, it may be a good time to start taking some profits. So over on DeFi Pulse, we are up to $13.5 billion of value locked in decentralized finance, with Maker still up at the top, Uniswap still the top DEX over here. And as you can see on our 30-day chart, we are on an uptrend. The the value locked in DeFi has just gone parabolic this year. So you want to keep your eye out on this one, because as of now, this is where most of the bigger gains can happen. Whereas Bitcoin, it's hard to see daily, weekly, or monthly changes of several X. But in DeFi, within a month, you could see up to a 10X return, and it's not something that would be too surprising. But keep in mind, you could also see a complete loss of all of your initial investment. So if you are investing in cryptocurrencies, make sure you are managing risk appropriately. Over to our news updates. The New York Times has reported complaints of racist and discriminatory policies at Coinbase. The company did say in a tweet a little bit before this was released that they were going to be featured in a New York Times article discussing their treatment of Black employees, which is not a really great thing to see in the space. It'd be a shame, and it would be nice to see it more regulated and have a more positive atmosphere, but it doesn't really affect the fundamental value of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. It's just that one of the main platforms that people use to on and off ramp fiat, which is like US dollars or Chinese yuans, is under some scrutiny for this, as they should be in this situation. Continuing our news updates, Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency was not really rebranded, but reevaluated, where initially they were going to make a cryptocurrency that was based on many different forms of currency, such as a basket of the US dollar and Great British Pound, the Chinese yuan, all these. And now they're just looking at doing a dollar for dollar with the US dollar coin. This is looked at not too favorably by regulators because Facebook already controls so much of the world through internet access for a lot of developing nations, and giving them control of the monetary system as well is something that regulators were really hesitant to do. So originally Libra was going to be controlled and owned primarily by Facebook or Facebook subsidiaries, with a kind of group of advisors of the initial investors, such as Uber and PayPal. But after the regulatory pushback, many of the companies pulled out. So PayPal is now just offering its own direct listings of cryptocurrencies for its users. So Libra had to sort of reevaluate after that intense level of scrutiny. I will be looking more into this because I'm kind of curious to see what they've done that's different and where they're going next. So I'll be posting a video on that soon. So keep an eye out for that one. So our last bit of news for today is that an investment fund is looking at putting a portion of its reserves into Grayscale's Bitcoin trust. And so they would gain exposure to that. The big thing with this is that for some people, this will mean that you are able to now buy into some exposure to Bitcoin. Keep in mind, they are managing a $5.3 billion fund, and they are only looking to invest about 500 million into Bitcoin, which is 10%. So you'd only have a 10% exposure with this fund, but also keep in mind that up until now, if you wanted to invest in Bitcoin through a traditional investment brokerage account, which would let you put things like your Roth IRA money into some Bitcoin exposure, you had to go through Grayscale, and Grayscale had a minimum buy-in opportunity of $50,000. And most people don't just have $50,000 laying around. So this is opening it up more to the public. I don't know where it will be posted or what platforms you will be able to buy it on, but it is interesting to see that they are looking to expand more of their reach. So we'll want to keep our eye out on this one. This was just reported 12 hours ago, so it's not likely we will have any updates for this anytime soon. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you found this informative or helpful at all, please do subscribe. I'll keep you updated. I'll save you some time, and I'll provide you any information when applicable. You can subscribe over here, and you can find more videos on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies over here. Please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Now go chase your dreams.